shout out to Romy who just came home, and shout out to my brother G. When I introduced the two of them on a call, and they were talking about where they were locked up and how long they was at this place and where they moved them to, and as we were in the conversation, I was like, "Yo, I did time too," and like, really, yeah, I was in a holding cell for 48 hours.
Exactly.
What did you do, John? I was at the Marquee and I couldn't hold my pee. I went to a corner, Marquee. I peed right by the side.
So you got a little guillotine. You
some
forgot to show up.
Some undercovers saw me.
So they gave you a little bench
arrested
warrant.
me, man.
Little bench
Son, I
warrant.
went to jail. I'm like, what?
Overnight.
For peeing?
He lucky he ain't get a decent.
Yo, I was about to get a tattoo tear right here. I was about to come out, yo, son. I did 48 hours, son. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go back if I have to go back again. You heard?
I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm built for this. You heard? I was
dead.
not built for it. Some dude was like in the same cell. He was like taller than fuck. He kept leaning on me, and I'm like, yo, my man, get off me. Yo, I'm like, yo, my man, get off me, man. The whole night I never slept standing up. This is the first time in my life I slept like this. I don't even know if that could even be done, but
It happens.
I slept
Trust me.
standing up, leaned up against the cell because I did not want somebody leaning on me.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
But check this out.
Yeah, that was my thug life story. For the homies who ain't here, you heard? No.
Yeah.
Nah, so Johnny, check it, right? Mm-hmm. So let's get to photography now, right? Mm-hmm. So now you get this vision from the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. So now that you get this vision, do you do any research or is it you just have tunnel vision? You like, yo, listen, right, God, this is what you want me to do. And I'm gonna just tell you like now, I'm a brother of Christ just like you.
Yeah.
I don't go to church. I don't do none of that. But I escaped death 5 times, and I'm not a feline. So I believe in the higher power.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm here for a reason.
Hallelujah.
So with that being said, okay, so he gave you a vision.
Yeah.
So now, what's the steps after you get this vision?
So Jose Santana let me borrow his camera, and mind you, I was still in a state of potentially getting vengeance. I wanted to harm these people that lied on me.
From the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on some prayer, and photography was kind of like my therapy to not go hard at that. So every time I would go to a gym called Gold's Gym, and I would work out. And so, again, this Dominicans come back into the picture, Puerto Ricans come back in the picture. I was in the gym working out, and whoever was spotting me was some high-powered dude, and he said, Johnny, what do you do? I'm like, well, I deliver pizza, but I'm thinking about being a photographer. Oh, really? Well, you should go to a restaurant called Mecca. I'm like, where's that? It's in Manhattan on Avenue A between Houston and First Street. I'm like, well, what's over there? He goes, well, all the black and Latin movers and shakers in executive positions, they're all
on the
there.
Lower East Side, by the way.
Lower East Side,
Absolutely.
They're all there. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go there.
That was coming.
So using Jose Santana's camera and reading the book Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins, I started to, find girls on 8th Street between 6th Avenue and 5th Avenue. If you're familiar with NYU, back in the day, 8th Street was a car show, man. So I would find young ladies that were walking, and I'd say, excuse me, I'm a photographer student. And by the way, because I still lived in the car, I went to a bookstore called Barnes. Not Barnes & Nobles. It was called, it'll come back to me.
I know.
It doesn't exist no more.
Okay.
But they used to put their books
outside.
So I saw a book on photography, and I'm like, God, I'm sorry, I have to steal this book, but I will return it. I swear.
You went back to your old ways.
That book. I was in the car like this, homeless, sleeping with a little flashlight, reading photography. And I remember there was a gentleman named Ted Whiting, an African American brother. He had an exhibit in Brentwood Library where I had studied for radiation therapy oncology. And I'll never forget the photos of Africa. He had lions and tigers and, tribal warriors from Africa, and so I remember telling him that I liked his photos. I asked the library for his number. His name was Ted Whiting. He lived in Nassau County. If you want to learn from me, come on down, you know. And I went to his makeshift studio that was in the basement, and he began to teach me the fundamentals. This is the camera, this is how we do. And I'll never forget, because I used to still go out to nightclubs and shoot a little bit. I was meeting dimes, you know what I'm saying? And all of them were like, hey, I want to be a model, so can you take my photographs? I'm like, yeah, well, what studio we're going to use? I'm like, I'll get one. And I would call him, and he was a viejito. And I'm like, yo, Ted, you think I could use your studio? Sure. I was bringing dimes by, and they came with lingerie. They
Shout
came
out
with
to Ted.
G-string. And he was just like, Johnny, I think you're going to need some help, so let me go get my camera, you know? And so next thing you know, as I'm trying to shoot a shorty, he's over here like, ka on the side. And so he taught me the fundamentals. And so as I was walking down 8th Street, and this is, again, how God comes back into my life. On 8th Street, there was a shoe store called Lucchini Shoes. Shout out to my brother Gerald, wherever you are. And as I was reading the book Unlimited Power, I was looking at, you remember those stomp shoes? Stomp. Yeah, there was these big-ass stomp shoes, and house music was gone already, but I was just looking at the shoes, and the general manager said, can I help you with something? I said, no. He goes, I see you looking at the shoes, and I'm like, I just admire the craftsmanship, you know? And he goes, what do you do? I'm a photographer. Really? Do you have a business card? I'm like, I think I just ran out. You have a portfolio I can see? It's so funny. My agent shipped my portfolio to California, so I probably won't have it for a while. Well, give me your number anyway, because we need to do it.
Hold on. Yeah. Huh? You didn't even have an agent. Did you have an agent?
I was still living in the Mazda 323.
That's that hustle. Mm-hmm. That's
my agent was a Mazda.
No agent, but he knows the language. You know what I'm saying?
So
all right,
he's like, give me your number. So I'm like, all right. Now, here's the beauty of Mecca, the restaurant, which had the best fried chicken, by the way. The general manager, and Dren, you can understand, what my mother taught me, which is probably why I'm successful to this day, is it's not just your profession, it's your ability to connect to people. The minute I set foot somewhere, who's the GM? Who's the security? Who's the coat check girl? Who's the receptionist? Treat them like royalty.
Facts.
Because the next time you come, yo, Jay, you don't know first, man. Yo, that's Johnny. Let him in. So whether you're a security guard or a receptionist or a guest list person, expect coffee, hot cocoa, iced tea, lemonade, douce when I come through.
You know what I'm saying?
You know? And so, long story short, he said, we want to do some fashion shoots, so we're looking at photographers. So you seem like you know what you're doing. I gave him my number. And I was like, wow, this could be a fashion shoot. But in my head, there was a negative side. Nigga, you ain't no photographer, you know? And so by the time I hit 6th Avenue and 8th Street, there used to be a Barnes & Noble's there. And this African-American man used to have an old man with a white beard. And he would sell incense and, 5% nation pamphlets, all kind of Egyptian musk, which is my shit. He sell all these oils. And I said, God, if you could give me one more sign. I know I told you I wasn't going to bother you for a while, but if you could just give me one sign that photography is what you want me to do, just give me one more sign. In Jesus' name, amen. When I said that prayer and I hit 6th Avenue, 8th Street, I smelled an incense. And I went right away to where the incense was. And I said to the gentleman, excuse me, sir, what is the name of that incense that's burning? Because that was the first thing that hit me after I said amen. And he said, that, my son, is the sweet smell of success. That's the name of the incense.
Wow.
So I bought 5 of them. And till this day, every now and then, every year, I burn it. I burned it, sweet smell of success. So this is where your boy becomes a hustler. I was now in the nightclubs shooting all the groups that I liked. I didn't know how to sell anything. I didn't know what to do. The general manager of Mecca, his name was Fahim. Fahim would see me every week. I was bringing beautiful young shorties that wanted me to shoot them. My reward was I would do the photo shoot, wouldn't charge you, but they were allowing me to perfect my craft. And if you let me shoot you, I'll buy you dinner. And I would take them to Mecca. So Fahim goes, yo, you come here every weekend, man, with some badass shorty, son. What do you do? I said, I'm a photographer. Really? Where's your studio at? Well, I live in Long Island, so, but I'm just practicing my craft, and I bring girls here because I just want to, like, network. And so they had an existing exhibit, but the pictures were scary. They were creepy. Whoever the photographer was, he took pictures of children that looked scared. So next week I come, and I noticed there were no more photographs on the walls. So I said, Fahim, what happened to the photographs? He said, don't worry about it. But you know what, Johnny? Our walls need your photographs. How soon will it take for you to put up a photo exhibit? I said, well, what? February was coming. And I said, well, what's the next holiday? He goes, Valentine's Day. I said, okay, February, it gives me about a month. We'll have a February Valentine's exhibit. Let's do that. So immediately I'm like, wait a minute. I still live in a car. Each picture, each studio, each print, each frame, I don't have that money.
It costs money, yeah.
So when I used to develop my rolls of film, there would be a wall filled with photographers' comp cards, meaning photographers would advertise this is before the internet, they would put their best work on a card with their number. So I looked in the sea of white models, and I saw black and Latin models. So I looked close, and the guy's name was Kwame Bradworth. My plan was I was going to go to his studio, act like I wanted to be a model, but I would learn where he positioned the lights, where he positioned everything, and I would then mimic it by renting the equipment if I could afford it, or maybe borrow his studio. So I'll go to meet Kwame Bradworth. God bless the dead, he just passed away a few months ago, and he's in a processing lab, processing photos. I'm like, Kwame, so I want to be a model. How much you going to charge me? $600. And I'm going to put some clothes on you. I'm going to get you with some other female models. And I'm like, all right, awesome. You have the money? I'm like, I don't have the money. Not yet, but where do you shoot at? Because I thought you had a studio. Because, I don't have a studio. I rent a studio 2 flights up. Some guy named Bill Wiley. So I was like, okay, well, thank you, Kwame. It was nice meeting you. I go right to the elevator. And I still, to this day, don't understand. I went, elevator, press the button, went up 2 floors, saw the name Bill Wiley. Hey, Bill, how you doing? Hey, do I know you? I'm like, no, Kwame Bradworth told me to call you. He said that you rent your studio, and I'm a photographer. He's like, well, I don't really rent out to people I don't know, but it's $25 an hour, and when do you need to use it? I need to use it this Saturday. Okay. How God works is that I lived all the way in Brentwood, Long Island, way out in the sticks. But Essence Magazine had an Essence Magazine frame company that would frame stuff like this. And it was only $20 a frame. How I found out about it, I don't know till this day. I know it was God. Amen. I did the exhibit. All those girls that I would meet in the streets of Union Square, and fellas that were handsome enough that was like, yo, I'll be in your exhibit. So I told the girls and the guys, take your shirt off and hold each other and look at each other. And I played slow jams, and I photographed it. And then I got it framed, and then I put it in Mecca, and every wall had my photos. And Fahim would be like, yo, Nuñez, where you at right now? I'm like, I'm in Long Island delivering pizza. What's up? You just sold 3. You have to put 3 more up. I'm like, are you serious? I was selling them for like maybe, I don't know, $100, maybe $200, who knows. I sold out. But every person that purchased my shit helped me. A white woman bought 3 of them and said, you have business cards? I'm like, she said,
I just ran out.
Meet me here in 2 days. I went to Mecca. She goes, you have 4,000 business cards. I was like, thank you. She goes, I wish you the best. Ooh. You know, I felt Elizabeth, who was the first girl I prayed with when I was treating people with cancer. I felt her energy and her spirit when this woman handed me the cards. And so next thing I know, some girl looked really sad in a corner. And I said to her, hey, because, when you're hanging around an exhibit, you have nothing to do. And I said, you're too pretty to look sad. And she laughed. She said, what do? You work here? I'm like, well, this is my exhibit. She goes, you know, I came here a couple of weeks ago and I saw some of your work. It was beautiful. I wound up giving her a ride home, and she was the photo editor for Source magazine.
Was it Kim?
No, it was before Kim.
Okay.
Man, I want to say her name was Tracy Goodwin. But long story short, she goes, come by the Source. I'm going to introduce you to Riggs Morales. And
Riggs the homie.
you know, I'm going to introduce you, and you have pictures from nightclubs, parties and all? I'm like, do I?
Yeah, that was in the back of the Source. They always showed the pictures. Facts.
So Mobb Deep was performing at the Octagon.
Oh, I was there then.
And I was a big fan of Mobb Deep, and I'm still living in Long Island, I'm still homeless, but feeding the homeless. So one of my stops was a Dunkin' Donuts, and I went there and I said, hey, can I borrow one of your actually whatever restaurant it was? They gave me a white suit. So I'm like, how do I get into this Mobb Deep concert? I don't know none of these people. So I said, I know what I'm gonna do. I went to a bodega. I bought four packs of ice. I put my camera in there, and I put the white suit on over my outfit, and I cut the whole line. Excuse me. And the security's like, who are you? I work at the bar. Oh, let him in. I went right to the bathroom, threw out the ice in the toilet, took my camera, took off the white clothes, threw it in the garbage, came back out. Infamous. Ba, 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 ba. Went to the Source magazine. Riggs Morales is like, this is hot. All right, boom. He wound up buying my photos. I met another photo editor for Vibe magazine. And before Instagram, your boy was Instagram.
Facts.
I was shooting
1,000%.
every party.
1,000%.
Hove, Nas, Puffy. Before you know it, I was shooting everything. Right now, in DJ Khaled's living room is a picture of Jay-Z and Nas toasting. And on Hove's shirt, on his sweatshirt, it says, Notorious B.I.G. I call that the hip-hop trilogy. Although Khaled didn't buy it from me, he bought it from a famous fancy artist, I won't say his name, that's my picture. So to know that my work, and DJ Khaled says that photo is his mood forever.
Wow.
His mood forever is one of my photos.
That's big.
And that's my brother DJ Khaled.
That's big.
Did I answer the question, or maybe the
listen,
Duce's creeping on me now? Duce's creeping.
With that lemonade, though, I told you. Now you know why this
is happening in the clubs right now.
Yeah.
Duce Lemonade.
Yeah, man.
But I gotta ask this, right? Because in this inception, you never had photography on your radar. So I want to know, right? And the only reason why I'm asking this because I was a photographer up north.
Okay.
So,
click.
Exactly. So everyone, even now, honestly speaking, people be like, yo, take a picture. And I'm not saying I'm on your level.
Yeah. No, you are. We are all on the same level. Trust me, we are all on the same level. May I say one thing before you talk?
All right, go ahead.
I always tell people this, and maybe the Duce is kicking in now, but this is true.
If I do say so myself.
And billions of sperm, only one
makes it through.
Only one makes it through. Now, you could be a twin or a quadruplet or a triplet, but without that,
that's rare.
All these sperms or all of yous are running to one egg, but only one's gonna make it.
Yep.
So in the Powerball of life, in the mega ball of life, you are the one that made it. And then to be raised 9 months later and be a human being walking this earth with other lucky Powerball winners, I don't give a fuck if you got a mansion and you own 2 private jets. So long as I'm breathing, you are my equal and I'm your equal. Finance does not regulate how much of a human you are. Because at the end of the day, if you get called that you got cancer, or you got 9 months to live or 3 weeks to live,
money can't save you.
Money can't save you.
Facts.
Only your creator can, in my opinion. So you are equal to me, brother.
Damn,
I
Johnny,
can't do
you
what
just-
you can do, and you can't do what I can do, but we can.
just
he
messed the
comes
whole
with it.
thing
Oh,
up,
yeah,
my brother.
bro.
Because that shit is fucking
It's
powerful right there. What
It's
you
powerful.
just said.
I was with the royal family of a country
You hear what he's
this
saying?
week that just passed at Citizen.
Bro, my man went from being
Johnny,
homeless.
chill, Johnny.
Yo, how
Johnny,
you go
chill,
from being
Johnny.
homeless to saying I was with the royal family in the same?
Johnny, I'm gonna need you to relax because
Yeah, I was with global citizens
listen,
with
Johnny,
two royal families.
I'm trying.
hanging-
Listen,
It's
I'm in the
wild.
rabbit hole. I'm trying to segue to this situation.
Okay, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But nah, you don't have to apologize, my brother.
I forgot the question.
Honestly, listen. I told you, brother. I wanted you here for a reason because a lot of these people, our people, don't understand what success is and the work that you have to put into success. You feel me? So what I was said before, you said them beautiful words that you said.
Thank you, bro.
So I was doing, like my brother said, I was doing click up north. Everybody wanted me to be the photographer, right? But what I'm asking you is this. You didn't have a photography background. You wasn't on some Gordon Parks situation or none of that. And I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. But what I want to say is, in photography, how is it that you have your eye? Like, what is it that says to you mentally, yo, this is a pic? Or is it just, y'all get together and you just take a pic? You understand what I'm saying?
No, totally.
Does it make sense?
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
No, now I get it. The undesirables. Growing
It's
up,
fucking unbelievable.
I had like really a few friends. I would literally see kids on my block going into a birthday party. 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old birthday parties, and I would be there with my mother, and I would be like, "Hey, can I go to their birthday party?" And my mom she would be like, "They didn't invite you." I'm like, "But those are all my friends." "It's okay, Johnny. Don't worry. I'm gonna make you a cake." I'm like, "No, but I want to go. I want to go where they are." And I would just hang out watching all the kids come out with little triangular, circular birthday hats and little goodie bags. And I would just go to the kids like, "How was the party? Did the cake taste good?" And the kids would look at me like, "Yeah, it was great. Why didn't you come?" And of course, I would look at the parents, and they would close the door. I still didn't know it was racism, discrimination or whatever you want to call it. So I would always be like, "Man, I wish I could be invited. I wish, add that with bullying, I would be pretty much prone to finding friendship in anyone that was in a similar situation. You are not liked, you are not accepted, and because of your color or because of who you were, you're not invited." So I would just say to myself, like, wow, So given that metaphor, given that example, whenever I would shoot at events, the first act, "Welcome to the stage. How do we say your name? Oh boy. Welcome to the stage. Call Mega, or welcome to the stage. Big Pun, everybody. Big Pun. Welcome to the stage." And I'm like, no photographers are wasting their film because they're there for the main act. This is before digital. So if you have 4 rolls of film, you'll be,
Save that shit.
I'm going to wait till that person comes on. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? Let me shoot that first person. "Welcome to the stage, Rihanna." And Rihanna is from the Caribbean. Everybody, welcome. Rihanna, welcome to the stage, 11-year-old. Ladies and gentlemen, he's from Canada. His name is Justin. How do we say it? Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, everybody. It sounds funny. Welcome to the stage, Lady Gaga. You hear these names now, you're like, holy shit. Wow. But everyone, not necessarily conception, but everyone started somewhere. And so I always, and even till this day, what keeps my heart beating is I love photographing the unknowns. A lot of high-end photographers that charge a lot and they're fancy schmancy in their castle with all their money, they wait till the artist becomes that Michael Jordan. I don't wait for the male or female to become big. I love to capture them when no one knows who they are.